Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Basic Corrective Makeup for a female. So what you're going to want to do first is prep your skin in some way. You can do this with a serum or a moisturizer. I'm just using a moisturizer. And you want to do this because being on set for 12 plus hours with makeup all over your face can really take a toll on your skin. So make sure you do that step first. The next step after prepping your skin is going to be priming your skin. Right here I'm using a mattifying primer. You want to make sure to use a mattifying primer because that'll decrease the amount of shine that your skin is going to give off. Especially with the harsh lights on a film set, you want to be sure to use that mattifying primer instead of like a hydrating primer or a dewy primer. The next step isn't completely necessary. I'm just using a color corrector over my blemishes. Green cancels out red, so when I put that green color corrector over my blemishes, it'll just cancel them out right before putting my foundation on. Now, probably the biggest difference between on stage and in front of a camera is going to be your foundation, because when you're on stage, you want to use a full coverage foundation that is like 1 to 2 shades darker than your natural skin tone. But in front of a camera, it's very imperative that you use your exact shade so that you can't see the difference between your face and your neck. So try to match as well as possible. And rather than using that full coverage foundation, you're actually going to want to use a light to medium coverage foundation just so that your makeup doesn't look caked on if the camera is right in your face. Next, you're going to go in with your concealer. You're going to want to use a concealer that's pretty close to your natural skin tone, maybe 1 to 2 shades lighter, but you just want to cancel out any under eye circles. I use it sort of as a highlighter as well, so I put it on the bridge of my nose, the middle of my forehead, and on my chin, and a little bit around my nose just to get rid of some of that redness that's just naturally there on my skin. And right here I'm actually using my concealer as an eyeshadow primer, just because I think it works just as well as an eyeshadow primer, but that is obviously a personal preference. You're welcome to use an eyeshadow primer instead of a concealer. I just find that if I have it, I'll use it rather than having to buy a whole new product. Next, I'm going to set that foundation and concealer with just a light dusting of powder. You're not going to want to do any under eye baking or press anything into your skin. You just want a light dusting just to set that liquid foundation and concealer into place. I use a little bit more powder on my eyelids though, just to make sure that it's really set in before using any powder eyeshadow, otherwise it can get a little bit patchy. Now, just a disclaimer, I am doing my full face in this video just to make sure that I don't miss any steps, but you guys will be wearing your masks, so it's not necessary for you to do your full face. Even though the majority of the area that you would normally contour will be covered, you still want to contour your forehead because you don't want to lose that definition under the harsh lights. So just build up that shadow, not too much. You're still going to want to contour that nose because the top half of it will be seen, and you don't want to lose that definition under the lights. Next, you're going to apply your blush. You're not going to use as much blush as you typically would on stage because it's going to read much louder on camera, but this is still a ballet, so you want a good amount. I did not apply enough in this video, as you will see in this next shot, but you're still going to want those beautiful rosy ballerina cheeks. Next is eyebrows. You're going to want to make sure to brush them out. You can use any eyebrow product that suits you. I have like 3 eyebrow hairs, so I'm going to use a pomade and kind of fill them in. And then I think I use maybe a powder and a gel as well just to really set them in. You don't want them to be like super filled in to where they look like Sharpied on, but you want them to look nice and natural and filled in. Honestly, it takes me a really long time in this video to fill them in because it normally takes me a super long time just to make sure that they look super natural. So you do want to take your time, but if you don't want to watch this, you can skip forward a little bit. Next, I'm just going to use a little bit of concealer just to clean up around my eyebrow area where maybe I've overfilled just a little bit. And then I'll just blend that out with a little fluffy brush. And then I go in with just my contour palette to set that pomade in place. The contour color matches my hair color pretty well, so might as well use what I have. And now I'm just dipping into that same contour palette with a fluffy brush and using that to contour out my crease. For Basic Corrective, the eye look is not super crazy, so I just use the same colors that are already on my face to define the shapes of my eyes. So I'll just blend that out and build it up so that it will read on camera still. Next, I grabbed a flat brush and dipped into the very lightest shade of my contour palette, and I'm applying it to my lid just to kind of clean up any dark shadow that has crept onto the lid. You want to really define every shape of the face with that contour. And here I'm just taking my eyeliner and doing that typical wing. I'm not super great at eyeliner, but I gave it a shot. Now I wish the lighting in this video was a little bit better so that you could really see the contour and how defined everything was, but I will be sure to put a picture at the very end of this video so that you can see what the final look was. Next, you're just going to take that same liquid liner and do the bottom liner. So you're not going to be putting on your waterline or on your lash line. Leave a little bit of space so that'll really widen up your eyes. Next is lashes, so you're going to apply that glue, not too thick of a layer, but not too thin of a layer either. You want them to stay. And what I do this little technique where I lay it on my lid and then take it right back off. You'll see me do it right here. And it just leaves a little line of glue, and then once the line of glue on your eyelid and the line of glue left on the lash are a little bit tacky, they stick together so much easier. Then I just use some tweezers to make sure that the front and the back of that lash is in place. Then I'll take some eyeliner and go over any spots where that white glue is still showing through. So here you can see that technique again. I'm just applying that glue right to the lash, laying it on there, and then lifting it up, making sure both lines of glue are tacky, and then they stick so much easier. You can use those tweezers to make sure that everything's in place. Then going in again with that liquid liner, making sure everything is a solid black line. Next is mascara. You just apply this however you would typically apply your mascara. I start in the middle of my lashes and wiggle my way up. I don't like to start at the base just because I feel like the product builds up and sort of weighs down my lashes throughout the day. So just to make sure that your lashes stay upright and long and beautiful and full, I just start in the middle of my lashes and slowly build that up. This next step is absolutely not necessary. I just did it for the purpose of this video to create one cohesive look, but you will not be wearing any type of lipstick or anything like that. Next, I'm just going to set my eyebrows with an eyebrow gel. I know it might seem a little bit excessive that I'm using 3 different products on my eyebrows, but like I said, I have super thin brows, so I need to take any measure I can to make sure that they stay in place throughout the entire day of shooting. And now I'm just going to use a very subtle highlight just to make my skin look a little bit dewy. You want your skin to look dewy if anything, but never shiny. So just the tiniest bit of highlighter, and that's the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Natasha or myself.